Yo, what up? You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now live here on Chat Sports. No matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making our coverage during the NFL playoffs a part of your day, a part of your week, a part of your process. So excited to dive into everything on today's live show, and it's all about you, the Fly Eagles Fly family. It is also Giants week, so the intensity has been ratcheted up here all across the nation for the Bird Gang. It's Eagles Now, it's Giants week, and there's so much to get to on today's show. So with that, let's start with this. If you hate the New York Giants, I do. There were moments in my childhood in which I hated the Giants more than the Cowboys because the rivalry between New York and Philadelphia, closer in proximity, the Giants were a little bit more relevant during my upbringing. So I'm going to go ahead and type that FNY for F New York. If you're with me on that movement, then type it right now. I see my guy Brandon Ford is in the chat. Go check out his podcast. I was on with him last night. It's The Ford Show. Our guy Potion making it happen out there in Las Vegas. Go Birds! Cool Rains, good day, mate. Omar Monet, Shan Bright, NJ, Versatile, typing that FNY. Cool Rains, I hate Dallas the most. I understand that. Robert Wallace is in the chat as well. Speaking of that, this is our live poll. Most hated team in the NFC East is who? 86% Dallas Cowboys, 12% Giants, 2% the Washington Frauds, and there's a reason I listed them as the Washington Frauds, because Dan Snyder is a fraud himself. Hopefully he sells that football team. They've been irrelevant for a really long time, but I hate how they operate that organization. Anthony Byers, Go Birds, and F New York, both very, very good. Now, today's live show is presented by Rocket Money. Optimize your finances. Start saving money today by heading to rocketmoney.com/Eagles. Now, we'll tell you more about this app all throughout the show and right now. Because do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans don't. They think they spend about $80 per month on their subscriptions when the actual total cost is closer to $200 plus. That's right. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't want, subscriptions you don't know about, and it's Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, that'll help you stay on top of all of that. Shows you all of your subscriptions in one place, cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. And you may even find out, you've been double charged for a subscription. And to cancel it, you pull up the app. It's easy to use, aesthetically pleasing. You just press cancel. RocketMoney.com/Eagles now. Start saving money today. Lion Fighter, a.k.a. LFX, with the $5 super chat to kick things off. Chase time for a serious question. And don't front, if we get an Eagles versus Niners NFC Championship game, which watch party are you hosting? I honestly haven't thought about that, and I'm really not sure what our plans would be. I know that the Niners channel is bigger than Eagles, but I can tell you this, we will be doing watch parties on both channels regardless. So no matter what, we're going to be giving you the best coverage on Philadelphia Eagles. Now, it's an interesting spot for me to be in, right? Two of the top teams in the NFC battling it out, but San Francisco has to take down Dallas, and if they do, that's great. F Dallas. I don't want to see them in the NFC Championship game, and if Philadelphia, takes down New York, that's good too. So we'll see what happens, Lion Fighter. It's going to be a business decision, no doubt about that, but I love the Fly Eagles Fly family regardless. Next up, where are you watching from? Speaking of Dallas, we're coming to you from Dallas, Texas. Where are you? I know everybody is all around the globe tuned into Philadelphia Eagles Now. Potion said, everyone wants to know. Yeah, I'm going to be torn regardless because, look, my professional livelihood does really rely on both of these channels to be successful. Niners Report, Philadelphia Eagles Now. So during that game, if they do end up playing one another, my salary, putting food on the table, both of them get benefited by a victory. So that's just what it comes down to at this point in my life. But, of course, I'm always Go Birds at the end of the day. So who you got coming up on Saturday night? Primetime matchup, Lincoln Financial Field, South Philadelphia, Giants, Eagles. I think the Eagles win this game. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a game that is close for a lot of the duration of that football game. Eagles, because they're the far talented team, end up pulling away at the end. But Don Wink Martindale is a really good defensive coordinator. Brian Dable is an excellent head coach. Both of those coaches always have the offensive and defensive sides of the ball ready to rock, ready to perform well, and they're going to be ready for this test. It's not going to be a blowout in my estimation. So who you got? Let us know. We'll start to give you some shout-outs here. More people getting that notification piling into the show. Arcelius, Philly. Anthony, Birds. Philly Nation, Birds. Jake the Dimer throwing dimes, hanging out with dimes. PHI. JB Warnock, North Philly in the house. Eagles 38-21. Speaking of Niners report and Eagles now, pretty cool to see y'all support us over there and then see them support us over here. I think it is pretty cool as people are just following myself, Trizzy, Abby, wherever we go on both of these channels. We do appreciate the support. Keith Schaefer, Birds. Joe Dirt, hey, yeah, great song by Outkast back in the day. Eagles Forever with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much for that donation. And speaking of these super chats that are coming in, we do have a super chat menu cooked up for you all today. Every $5 that comes in, we beat the New York helmet. So Lion Fighter X, we're going to beat the New York Giants helmet. $10, I have an apple here. We'll slice up the big apple. It is not rotten. It's a green apple. On our green screen, it looks a little bit weird. I promise you, you can eat this thing. But the Giants are rotten. $20, a Merrill Reese impersonation. $50 shotgun or a freedom funnel. $100 super chat. No one likes us. No one likes us. We'll sing that as well because the national media types don't really like the Birds. And they're not believing that Philadelphia can make it to the Super Bowl and perhaps even take down the New York Football Giants. So that right there is our super chat menu. Thanks to Jake the Dimer, Keith Schaefer, Joe Dirt, Byron Nails. What up, OG? NJ Versatilier. Hopefully I pronounced that right, or Versatile Ear. It's hard to sometimes read your usernames, but thank you so much for joining the show. David Jones, Philadelphia, go Birds. We will be doing a mailbag on today's live show. Always love chopping it up with everybody and opening up the floor for all of you to join us. So if you want to get featured on Eagles Now for thousands to see, hashtag Eagles, better yet, super chat to get featured on the program. We are about to begin the show, and there's really a lot to get to. Eagles news, Eagles rumors, Eagles analysis. We'll continue to talk Eagles Giants as well. I see some of the questions already coming in. Continue to get those questions in using hashtag Eagles. Better yet, if you do send in a super chat, we will answer your questions first. Now, there are 81 people watching live right now with only 21 likes. I want to make this an Eagles Now party. And in order to get some more people in here, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. We're down to get down. We're down to have a lot of fun. And most importantly, we're down to talk Birds. So if you're ready for the show to start, make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and you like the video. Byron Nails with another $5 super chat. We'll try to get those super chats that were just sent in on our mailbag a little bit later. But Byron continues to be a big supporter of what we do. Got to beat the Giants helmet for sure, and hopefully that's an indication of what the Birds are going to be able to do at the link on Saturday. We got this. Beat the hat. Beat the Giants. Go Birds. I'll let one out before we get started. Go Birds! If you're ready for the show to begin, make sure you smash that thumbs up icon and like the video. Cool Range, Jake the Dimer, Sahith on the chat right now. Rafael Morales also getting the comment section popping. 82 people watching live. And again, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, we do appreciate all of you for choosing us for your Eagles coverage. There are so many options out there, but I believe that throughout this year, we've been able to really set ourselves apart. So the official show is about to start right now. So let's talk about the Birds, EAGLES. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's get it. Are the Eagles going to re-sign Miles Sanders after the season is over? He told ESPN that he wants to return to the city of brotherly love. That's what we're talking about on today's show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. And Sanders did say that in a recent article on ESPN that he wants to return to Philadelphia, the team that drafted him back in 2019 in the second round out of Penn State, and he's coming off a career year. We'll explore that, but first, let's get you up to date with the latest Eagles injury report. They just got off the practice field. here on Wednesday afternoon at the NovaCare Complex in South Philadelphia, and this is how it reads. Brandon Graham did not participate because of illness and he was resting. Avonte Maddox looks as though he is not going to play on Saturday against New York because of that lingering toe injury. And then James Bradbury, A.J. Brown, Fletcher Cox, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, Robert Quinn, Isaac Seumalo, Darius Slay, Josh Sweat, and Linval Joseph, all limited participants, and Linval Joseph actually a full participant. The big name not on that list, it is quarterback Jalen Hurts, who continues to come off that right shoulder sprain. It looks as though he is nearing 100% for this divisional round matchup at Lincoln Financial Field on Saturday night. Now, before we continue to keep it moving and go back to Miles Sanders, what he said, what Howie Roseman and the Eagles might do, make sure you subscribe to the show here. We're closing in on 40,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get there by the end of the game on Saturday night. Make sure you lock us in and subscribe. And if you haven't, you ain't alive. This is why you should join the Fly Eagles Fly family here at Chat Sports. We give you free daily videos covering the latest news, rumors, and analysis. When breaking news happens, we bring it to you instantaneously. We do live shows and watch parties, and we pride ourselves on giving you entertaining, informative content. So if that ain't a good sales pitch, I don't know what is. We appreciate all of you for supporting the show. And if you are subscribed, we want to show you some love back. What are you? Are you subscribed? If you are, that means that you're a real one and you go about your life rooting on the birds on a daily basis. So will the Eagles re-sign Boobie Miles? Sanders set to be a free agent after this year. And he had an awesome 2022, and hopefully that continues in the playoffs here as the calendar year is flipped. Set a career high in rushing yards and touchdowns, and he voiced in this article on ESPN that he wants to return beyond this season. But really what it comes down to, what is his asking price going to be? What does Miles Sanders want on the free agency market? Because we already know what Howie Roseman is thinking. Howie's in his office. He's thinking, Miles, I see what you said on ESPN. We drafted you. We like you. We've seen you develop. You're really good for our locker room culture. All of that is great and all. But the big looming question, what's the price tag? Especially after Miles Sanders had a terrific 2022 regular season, set a career high in rushing yards with more than 1,200, average yards per carry of nearly 5, also set a career mark with touchdowns at 11, had a couple of receiving touchdowns as well on 259 carries. And it was great to see Sanders finally come into his own because we've seen the ability throughout his entire career. He just had to stay healthy. He had to put it together, and he was able to do that here in his fourth season as an Eagle. The top rushers in 2022. Another reason why Sanders might be a little bit too expensive for the Eagles' liking unless he takes that hometown discount. Fifth in the NFL in rushing yards this year behind Josh Jacobs, the rushing champion, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley. And why Miles Sanders is so impressive with what he was able to do this year, far less carries and utilization as compared to a lot of the other running backs on your screen here. Now, I know a lot of you are a little bit iffy as to whether or not you want to bring back Miles Sanders, because I've seen the comment section. I've seen a lot of people not be all in on Sanders, but there are advantages of signing him, and you can see why Philadelphia would like to retain him. He's still really young. 4 seasons into the league, he's still only 25 years old, and the workload isn't all that much with 739 carries. That's really important for a guy who you might give $10+ million to, because you know he is going to age pretty well given the lack of carries, not a monster workload, and his age at 25. Other reasons, familiarity with the scheme. He shouldn't cost an exorbitant amount as compared to maybe a guy like Josh Jacobs, who is the NFL rushing leader here. And lastly, he's a really talented running back. He could have done far more damage if the Eagles gave him the football a little bit more. They decided to chuck it a little bit more than last year because of the growth of Jalen Hurts and the acquisition of A.J. Brown and the continued development of Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. So we're going to open up the floor here and open up the comment section. I want to see where people are at here. Should the Birds re-sign Boobie Miles? S for sign, P for pass. Let us know once more down in the comment section. Highest paid running backs in terms of average annual value. These are what these running backs are making per year and or what the contracts average out to be. And this is something in the neighborhood of what Miles Sanders might ask for. And you have to keep in mind that the salary cap in the NFL with these new television deals does continue to increase. And with that, in turn, player contracts increase. And a running back very well could reset the market, like, again, Josh Jacobs. Christian McCaffrey, highest paid running back in the NFL, average annual value at $16 million. No way Miles Sanders gets that, in my opinion. Nor would I pay it, because I think running backs are somewhat expendable. Alvin Kamara, $15 million even, as well as Ezekiel Elliott. The range where I think Sanders falls is somewhere between 10 to 12, 10 to $13 million to get into that Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry territory. He's not the running back of Derrick Henry. Henry did take a pay cut. Henry's also a little bit older as compared to Miles Sanders, and the utilization for him a lot greater than number 26. For me, because I think running backs are somewhat expendable, and because you can find really good backs in the draft for cheaper, as well as in free agency, guys later in the draft can even be plug-and-play guys. I don't know if I would go past $10 million. Maybe I would go to 11 or 12. Probably not more than that. And I don't know if Howie Roseman would do that because he sees the running back position in a way that I do. There are other positions on the field that are more important, that are more valuable, that you kind of save that money for. Offensive tackle, defensive end, even safety has become important. Cornerback, wide receiver. All those positions a little bit more valuable than running back, but certainly an interesting conversation. A reminder for a programming alert, we will be live on Saturday night for our Eagles-Giants watch party. Our pregame show begins an hour before kickoff at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:15 p.m. Pacific. Again, another reason to subscribe, turn on those noties as well. Therefore, when we push out a video or we do go live, you will be notified. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the Giant Killer. Do you know who we're talking about? It's number 35. That's coming up right around the corner. First, though, do want to give a shout out to today's sponsor, Rocket Money. And here on Eagles Now, we want to help you out by giving you great Eagles content. We also want to help you out in saving your money and optimizing your finances. And that's what Rocket Money is able to do. By using this app, you're able to save money on a monthly and yearly basis and cancel unnecessary subscriptions you didn't even know you were paying for. Because, do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend about $80 per month on them when the actual total cost closer to $200 or more. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month and every year on subscriptions you don't want, you don't need, and lastly, you don't even know about. Rocket Money shows you all of your subscriptions in one place, cancels for you whatever you don't still want, and they even find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for one. And to cancel it, it's very easy. They show them all to you on your screen, and you just hit that cancel button. Get rid of those useless subscriptions with Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill Now, by heading to rocketmoney.com/Eagles Now. Seriously, it could save you hundreds of dollars per year. To the Giant Killer, the real ones know we're talking about Boston Scott here. It's wild how well Boston Scott has played in his career against the New York Football Giants. 17 career touchdowns for him. 10 of them have come against New York. And Don Wink Martindale was asked about him being a giant killer, and he kind of played it down as the best defensive coordinator, or at least one of the best in the NFL, by saying, I don't think he's a giant killer. He's just a really good running back. And he is. He's not a number one back by any means. He is a very good change of pace back who can catch the ball out of the backfield, kind of hide behind some of the big bodies along that line of scrimmage, and because of that, able to find running lanes and find space to pick up some of those big chunk yards. And I will say this about this Giants defense. They are a different defensive unit than they were when the Eagles played them in Week 18 as well as in Week 14. They've made some adjustments along the way, and that's what good defensive coordinators do. That's what quality defenses do. And I'll say as a whole, this is a different Giants team because after going on the road beating the 3-seeded Vikings. They just have a little bit more confidence, and they're playing with house money right now. And if they pull off another upset, my goodness, it would be a huge win for that franchise, for Brian Daboll, who's given a lot of people Bill Parcells type of vibes, and a lot of people should be concerned about him continuing to be the coach of this football team, because I believe he is a huge keeper. I understand that the Eagles have dominated the Giants in recent time with this rivalry, one of the best in the NFL. It's certainly a hostile and physical one. 9 straight wins for Philadelphia at home against the Giants. The Philadelphia Eagles also in their last 18 games against New York, 15-3 in those matchups, including a 2-0 record this year. It's going to be a dogfight, though, because the playoff pace and style is a little bit different as compared to the regular season, and this is an Eagles offense that kind of has struggled going up against teams for the second time in a season, let alone 3 times in a single season. So I hate the New York Giants. I can't stand them. Them beating the Patriots back in the day with Eli Manning made me sick. Their fan base makes me sick. I hate their ugly blue uniforms. I hate this damn logo right here. So if you hate the Giants and you're with me, type FNY in the chat right now. Let's round out with some more injury news. So we talked about the full injury report. As for Jalen Hurts, not on it as we talked about earlier. He was actually a full participant on Tuesday and Wednesday. That bodes really well for him as we move forward. Lane Johnson, seen moving very well during practice. The Eagles, in games that he does not play in his career, 13-22. And when you're without the best right tackle in the game, your offense suffers, both through the air and on the ground. He plays, Jalen Hurts plays. That's why I like Philadelphia to take this football game on Saturday night. Another reminder, going live for our watch party Saturday night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. Pacific. I struggle to really say that because the 15s are just throwing me off. You know what I'm not going to struggle with? Our watch party on Saturday. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a blast. It'll be the best atmosphere outside of being at Lincoln Financial Field or at Xfinity Live. So lock us in, turn on those noties, subscribe, and join us. Just make sure you make that O to the P. Raphael, Fly Eagles Fly. Thank you for that $10 super chat. We'll show you again our super chat menu. 1 segment in the books, 2 to go. Still a lot left to get to here on the show. Hope you all hang out with us. Raphael, we appreciate that $10 super chat. And I saw another one come in from Potion. Our guy Potion. Like the video up, y'all. How would you approach it game plan-wise? F New York, go Birds. Now bring that funky-looking apple out. I got to cut it a couple of times because we got a couple of $10 super chats. I promise. Y'all can attest. Trace and Abby here. It's not rotten. It's green. If I put it down here, it still doesn't change. I don't know. Our chrome in the background makes it look pretty bad. But either way, we're cutting up the apple here. I can give you all a big slice too, or at least try. There we go. Cutting up the big apple. I didn't. This is it. Potion with the 10. How would you approach this game plan against the Giants? I would try to run the football a little bit more. The Giants are not a good rushing defense, and I'm a little bit worried if Jalen Hurts takes a couple of hits on that throwing shoulder or if he gets driven down onto that throwing shoulder. He might be feeling good right now. Not going to feel as good if Dexter Lawrence is driving him into the turf. So that concerns me a little bit. So because of that, I want to take the pressure off of Jalen Hurts. I want to run the football. And I just want to own the Giants in the trenches. You control the trenches here. That's how the Philadelphia Eagles have been so successful this year and last year under Nick Sirianni. With the really good offensive line, really good defensive line, kind of neutralize and minimize Dexter Lawrence to a certain degree. Maybe you double team him up front. And then defensively, what I think is really important for the Eagles, they're one of the worst teams in EPA, expected points added, against rushing quarterbacks and quarterback scrambles. Nick Sirianni said this about the first matchup against the Giants. They have to have disciplined pass rush lanes because if Daniel Jones is able to get out of the pocket, out of structure, we saw him do it countless times against New York. Those are the types of plays that will take the air out of the stadium. If you do everything right, you cover well in the back end, you get pressure on Daniel Jones, pocket breaks down, nothing is there, and then he skirts out of the pocket and picks up a first down, moves the chains in a critical spot, especially on a third down like Jalen Hurts does often. So quarterback spy him, disciplined pass rush lanes, that's the key on defense, and then there's other points on offense. And then also, The Giants' cornerbacks aren't all that good. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith played very well against this New York defense. I think Dallas Goedert could also be an X factor if that pass rush starts getting home for New York. Little dump-off pass to Dallas Goedert. Blockers out in front. He's a menace to bring down in the open field. So we will be doing a mailbag for our third and final segment. So right now, get those questions in. Get those Super Chats in, and we'll feature them on the show. Hashtag Eagles Better Yet Super Chat to get on the program. Our Super Chat menu, $5. I beat this a couple of times. Beat the New York helmet. We're slicing up the apple there thanks to a couple of those $10 Super Chats from Potion and, what was it, Emmanuel? Raphael, sorry. So we cut up the apple. $20, Merrill Reese impersonation. $50 shotgun or a freedom funnel. $100 we'll sing No One Likes Us. We'll sing the Fly Eagles Fly theme song, and we'll get to partying. So hashtag Eagles Super Chat to get on our final segment. In the meantime, we do want to talk about some of these Eagles coaching rumors because there are several assistants who were landing interviews. Super Chats as well. Several Eagles coaches who were getting interviews. So Trizzy Trace is telling me that outside of Super Chats, just 2 questions in using the hashtag Eagles. Our final segment, we want to answer your questions. Open up the floor. So right now, start getting those questions in to stockpile them. I see a lot of good comments in the chat. Simply use hashtag Eagles because with all the comments that come in, Trace is able to filter through all of them and pop up the hashtag Eagles. We want to make his life a little bit easier. Anthony Byers helping us do that right there. All right, Eagles coaching rumors coming up next here on the show. It's geology, right? Bet. So that's coming up next here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Let's get to it. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for watching today's show. As for what we're getting into on today's show, Eagles coaching rumors are hot. Why? Several Eagles coaches, outside also of just Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen, are drawing interest for vacancies across the NFL, both for head coaching opportunities, but also assistant coaching opportunities. Rich Cimini does a great job of covering the New York Jets. He's been on that beat for a really long time, and somehow he's still sane covering that awful football team. But he had this update here on Wednesday saying that the Jets' search for the offensive coordinator spot is on after they fired former OC Mike LaFleur. They've already talked to at least 4 candidates: Marcus Brady, former Colts offensive coordinator; Darrell Bevell, Dolphins quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator; Nick Caley, the Patriots tight ends coach; and Kevin Patullo, the Eagles pass game coordinator. Quite likely there are more names on that list as the Jets right now in the early process of trying to find a new OC under Robert Saleh after that offense really stalled out the back half of the season. Diana Rossini also said this, that another Eagles coach is going to be interviewed as well. It's going to be Brian Johnson. He has also spoken with the Jets for their offensive coordinator position. He's the current quarterbacks coach for Philadelphia, and he's been on a really nice rise throughout his coaching career, and he's done a great job with the development of Jalen Hurts the last couple of years. In 2010 to 2013, he was the quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator at Utah, and he played there, was an excellent player. 2014 to 2016, he goes to Mississippi State as he continued to climb the coaching ladder. He was a quarterbacks coach there. In 2017, offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Houston. Jalen Hurts, by the way, from the Houston area. Hurts' pops coach Brian Johnson back in the day. He then moved on to Florida with Dan Mullen, OC and quarterbacks coach there. Then Nick Sirianni brought him up from Gainesville to Philadelphia to be the quarterbacks coach the last 2 years. And as he's been the Eagles quarterbacks coach, Jalen Hurts has made some massive strides. Of course, in 2020, that's when Doug Peterson was the coach. Brian Johnson was not yet there. But look at the jump from 2020 to 2021. When Hurts improved his completion percentage from sub 52 all the way to 61. Yards per game went down, but that's because the Eagles were more of a running team a year ago, but the passer rating went up. And then this year, completion percentage takes another jump from 61 plus to 66.5. Yards per game, massive leap. 209 to 246, and then his passer rating, 87.2 to 101.5. And honestly, when it comes down to quarterback coaching, quarterback evaluation, anytime a quarterback is able to make that big of a jump with their completion percentage, that does come down to, yes, the individual body of work that they put in to improve as a passer, but also the development that's taken place thanks to the coaches in-house. Nearly 67% from almost 52 as a rookie in a 3-year span. Hurts, man, he's really taken some massive strides as a passer. A programming reminder here, on Eagles Now. We're going to be going live for our Giants-Eagles watch party on Saturday. We will be going live an hour before kickoff, 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. Pacific. I finally did it. Subscribe and lock us in. It's going to be a lot of fun. The beers will be flowing. We'll have some super chat giveaways. And, of course, during the game, live play-by-play audience interaction. We'll do a pregame show, post-game show as well. You don't want to miss it. The best atmosphere outside of being at Lincoln Financial Field. From Brian Johnson, the quarterback's coach, to Shane Steichen, the Eagles offensive coordinator. These are the interviews as of now that we know about that have been confirmed for Shane Steichen. Houston Texans, after they fired Lovie Smith. Indianapolis Colts moving on after firing Frank Reich from Jeff Saturday, the disastrous interim coach. And then the Carolina Panthers. Are they going to hold on to Steve Wilks after they fired Matt Rule? To be determined on that front. But Shane Steichen, like Brian Johnson, has been able to climb the coaching ladder. He credited Norv Turner, the offensive mastermind back in the day, with being a big influence for him. And those fingerprints from Norm have been seen in the way that Shane Steichen likes to call an offense. In 2014-2015, he was the offensive quality control coach with the Chargers. He remained with the Chargers as the quarterback's coach from 2016 to 2019. Then in Philadelphia, he was actually hired prior to Doug Peterson, interim offensive coordinator, full-time offensive coordinator. Then in 2021-2022, the Eagles OC as well as play caller. And Nick Sirianni is in danger here of losing Brian Johnson. He's in danger of losing Shane Steichen. He's in danger of losing a couple of coaches on this coaching staff. But any coach takes pride in some of the coaches underneath their wings going somewhere else to elevate in their professional endeavors. And Sirianni said as much. I want to keep these guys, of course. They're great coordinators, but in the event that I lose them, I have an idea of what I want to do at both spots. The answer is something, or sometimes, yes, it's in the building. Sometimes it's outside of the building, but I feel like we have a lot of good options, and I feel like we have a lot of good options in the building, and we'd be excited about that if that were to happen. And it's pretty impressive here for Nick Sirianni to be in his second year as the Eagles head coach, to build this coaching staff quickly the way that he has, and really to develop some of these coaches to a point where they're in positions to land these head coaching jobs and to elevate in their professional livelihoods. And by the way, I did say that Steichen was hired before Sirianni. That's not true. Eagles offensive coordinator in 2021. I'm sorry for misspeaking there. But if Steichen does leave after being here last year and this year, Kevin Patullo and Brian Johnson, they do become viable offensive coordinator options. And the big thing for Brian Johnson, he can really enjoy being in Philadelphia as a quarterback's coach because of his relationship with Jalen Hurts. But he wants to become a play caller at some point because down the road he probably wants to become a head coach. And in order to check an important box off to build up your resume to become a head coach, got to call some plays. That's why he was receiving some interest and interviewing with some organizations to be their OC. Do want to ask you this question because I've gone back this week to watch the 2006 divisional round matchup against the Giants at the Meadowlands when the Eagles knocked off the number 1 seeded Giants. I went back. That was 2008, 2006 was when the Eagles at home at Jeff Garcia had taken down the Giants at Lincoln Financial Field. And that just brought back some wonderful memories from my childhood, which made me think about growing up as an Eagles fan as a kid. Probably became an Eagles fan at like 4 years old in 1996. What year do you become an Eagles fan? Drop me that year down below in the comment section. Philadelphia Eagles Now is presented by a new sponsor here at Chat Sports. It is Geology. They are offering an all-time deal of 70% off if you head to chatsports.com/geology, and you also enter the promo code that we're about to tell you about. Geology, a 16-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, GQ, and Esquire. Geology creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. And right now, limited time only, they're hooking you up, the Fly Eagles Fly family, with an absolutely insane offer. Use our code ChatSports70 at chatsports.com/geology or use the QR code that we're showing you right now, and they will give you an exclusive 70% off of their award-winning skincare trial set. When you think about it, right? Skincare shouldn't feel like a gamble. And Geology, the best in the skincare game, they put an end to darker, puffy under eyes. They help you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, and it gives you smoother, hydrated skin. I've been using their face wash in the mornings to start my day, their dark and puffy under eye cream, and the retinol night cream before heading to bed at night, and my skin is looking and feeling great. And in the shower, their body washes smell great, and they are free of harsh ingredients, which is really important for me. Mom passed away from cancer, so I kind of try to steer clear of all those sketchy ingredients out there. Geology does the same. So one more time, chatsports.com/geology. Scan the QR code on the screen. Use our code ChatSports70. The link is in the description and the comment section of today's video. And on top of 70% off, you'll receive an exclusive bonus offer on one of their brand new skin, hair, and body products of your choice when you add it to your trial. More coaching rumors to get to, and now let's shift gears to Vic Fangio. So he is interviewing with some teams out there to be their defensive coordinator. Most recently, interviewing with the Atlanta Falcons. The San Francisco 49ers also said to possibly be interested if DeMeco Ryans lands a head coaching job. And for Vic Fangio, his fingerprints are seen everywhere for many defenses across the National Football League in today's offensive era. And as a defensive mastermind, he's been able to halt a lot of great offenses throughout his career. Notable stops for him. He got his start as a high school coach in Dunmore as an assistant, then kind of worked his way up over time, began his NFL coaching career in 1986. He was the Niners defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh from 2011 to 2014, Bears defensive coordinator from 2015 to 2018, and the Denver Broncos head coach from 2019 to 2021. So interesting stuff on that front. If Jonathan Gannon were to leave, of course, Vic Fangio could be an option at defensive coordinator for Philly if he doesn't go somewhere else, or if Jonathan Gannon doesn't leave, then obviously Gannon would probably come back and have the inside track at that. $5 Super Chat coming in from our guy Byron Nails. We got this. Beat the hat. Here's the hat right here. Beat the Giants. F the Giants as well. Type it into the comment section. Go Birds. Rafael Morales. Fly Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Hopefully that theme song and that fight song, it's sang a lot at Lincoln Financial Field come Saturday night. Speaking of that game, who you got? NYG for the Giants, PHI for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm thinking that the Birds win this game. You let us know who you have down in the comment section right now. Dale Thompson, Eagles forever. John Alpine on the chat right now. 150 people watching live, 60 likes. If you like what you're seeing today, or if you love the Birds, hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. Continue to let us know who you got. Also, a look at our live poll. Most hated team in the NFC East, 84% Cowboys, 12% Giants, 4% Washington Frauds. John Alpine, how about Lovie Smith coming to Philly? Use the hashtag Eagles. I'll expand on that during our upcoming mailbag. Anthony Byers, hashtag Eagles. You're the man. I'll answer that in our mailbag as well. Leading rusher receiver on Saturday, he's going with Hurts, Devontae Smith for receiving. John Alpine, dope show. Love what y'all do. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. If you want to get on the show, use the hashtag Eagles like our guy Anthony Byers, or you can send us in a super chat. Then we'll get you on the show. Couple ways for you to get involved. Hashtag Eagles, Super Chat. We'll round out our live coverage here during Giants Hate Week with the mailbag. But in order to do a mailbag, got to use the hashtag Eagles. There you go, John. Good job by you. Using hashtag Eagles. Good stuff. Lucas Myers, Fly Eagles Fly. EAGLES. Eagles. So you see the prompt, you see the steps, hashtag Eagles Super Chat to get on the show. Dale Thompson, Eagles forever, yes sir. In fact, yes sir. Cool. I love the bird so much, for real, from Mr. Awesome Guy. Byron getting that prediction in. Come on, 140 people watching live. Get those questions in. We'll open up the floor for you. Uh-oh, the Eagles hater is back. Fernando Saldivar. Philly fans are scared this weekend. Pack your bags, Sheagles. Hopefully the Cowboys pack those bags as well, Fernando. Let's show them the Super Chat menu here as well. Here's our Super Chat menu for today's show. Off tomorrow. So no live show tomorrow. We're doing it today instead. $5, beat the New York helmet. We have it right here. $10, we'll slice up the Big Apple. We've been slicing up the apple today. $20, Merrill Reese impersonation. $50, shotgun or a freedom funnel. $100, no one likes us. We don't care, including Fernando. Cool Rain said Dallas is going to lose. The Niners are so much better. You thought that was happening Monday night? I said there was a chance, Fernando. We retired the GOAT in Tom Brady. Good performance. Good performance. Congratulations on winning your first road playoff game since 1994. It's been a little while. Yeah, I know, right? Tom Brady's probably going to be on the Raiders next year too, by the way. All right, last call. Hashtag Eagles, Super Chat. Mr. Awesome Guy, I see ya. Use that Michael Thomas one from earlier, too. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, bet. Cool. Anthony Byers is getting a lot of them in. All right. Cool. Mailbag to round out our live coverage today. Nah, it's all right. All right, we'll start to answer your questions right now, and if you want us to hang around, we'll do a little Eagles Now happy hour for a bit. It's a reminder to stay tuned. Let's start answering your questions right now. What's good? Welcome in. This is Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Please make sure you subscribe to the show as we're closing in on 40,000 subscribers. We're also going to be live for this divisional round rivalry matchup between Philadelphia and New York on Saturday night. We will be live an hour before kickoff for this football game. Our coverage starts at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. Pacific. Subscribe, lock us in. We'll break everything down and preview this game during our pregame show. During the game, great Super Chat menu items. We have some giveaways that we're excited about. Then after the game, we'll also do a post-game show. It'll be the best atmosphere outside of being in South Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field or Xfinity Live. So if you want to join the best bird gang on the entire internet, our game experience will be awesome. Potion with the $10 Super Chat. Like the video up. See, we didn't even have to say it. Potion did. How would you approach this game plan-wise? F New York, go Birds. Now bring that funky-looking apple out. We were slicing the apple here on our live show, so I cut it for you there, Potion. Approaching this game plan for Philly. Couple of things that I think are really important for the Birds. I just want to see how healthy Jalen Hurts is. If he can sling the rock all over the yard, that's great. I don't believe that the Giants on the back end have the defensive backs to stick with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith for 60 minutes. I think that Dallas Goedert could really be an X factor in this game. Where the Giants are good and a quality team is along that defensive line. And you look at how good the Giants are along that defensive front. Kayvon Thibodeau, good player, had a really productive rookie season. He has that dog type of mentality to him. Dexter Lawrence, a very good defensive tackle, one of the best in the NFL. He was a game breaker and a game changer against Minnesota in the wild card round. 7.5 sacks operating from defensive tackle is really impressive. Leonard Williams can also occupy a lot of space. Azeez Ojulari, good player. Limited time this year, still able to produce 6 sacks. So the Giants' defensive line is good. Eagles' offensive line is going to have to come to play. I want to see a couple of pop passes to Dallas Goedert. I also want to see Philadelphia run the football with Miles Sanders. Do not stray away from the run. Some of those clock-eating drives where the Eagles get moving downhill, they can snatch the soul away from the opponent. And if you do that in the early going and wear down the Giants throughout the night, they do not have the firepower to stick with Philadelphia. And then lastly, Daniel Jones is very good at extending plays with his legs. Some people deemed him Lamar Jackson light throughout this year, or the white Lamar Jackson, because he's so good once the pocket breaks down of moving the chains and finding ways to pick up yards with his legs. So disciplined pass rush lanes are going to be paramount, especially setting the edge to not let him get to the outside. And don't let him, if you go wide 9 type of front, step up in the pocket and gash you up the middle. Maybe you have a little bit of a quarterback spy on Daniel Jones. All those keys in this game for Philadelphia. So, Saturday night, quickly approaching. Who you got? NYG for the Giants, PHI for the Birds. Get those game predictions in. I am taking the Eagles to win in this game. Mikey, should the Eagles sign Michael Thomas if the New Orleans Saints release him? I'm pretty sure the Saints would love to release him because his contract is awful. Do you think that happens, Trace? You think that the Saints are going to release Michael Thomas? They can't trade him because he has no value. He hasn't played it all the last couple of years.
So the Saints did recently restructure his contract to give him, or so the Saints could cut or trade him, and it would have the minimal cap hit again for this offseason.
Yeah.
And then in his new contract, it's set up to where if they bring him back and he plays 4 games, they would owe upwards of $60 million in 2024.
Got it.
I don't think that Michael Thomas is wearing the black and gold next season.
Yeah. So, look, he hasn't played the last couple of years. It's been unfortunate from a football fan perspective because coming out of Ohio State, he was so good with Drew Brees for a couple of years. He was setting records, receptions per year, and he was so productive. But injuries have just snake-bitten him over the last couple of seasons, and that contract for New Orleans, it ain't good. John Alpine with this one, do you think that our thinness at cornerback will force us to take a chance on an athletic freak like Christian Gonzalez? Look, I'm kind of looking at cornerbacks at number 10 for the Eagles. I know that Howie Roseman really likes defensive end, defensive tackle, offensive tackle. And they prioritize that in the NFL draft. Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, solid player. I'm popping up his numbers here. 35 solo tackles, 4 interceptions this past year with the Ducks and 7 pass breakups. He might be a guy who you can get with that second first-round pick. But with number 10, I'm looking at Joey Porter Jr. I'm looking at Keely Ringo. Those are 2 of my favorite DBs in this class. And I might go there, especially if the Eagles decide to let James Bradberry walk if he were to get about $15 million this offseason. So the Eagles are a little bit thin there. That's why it's a priority to either bring Bradberry back or use a first or second round pick on a cornerback. I do agree that that is a need, and they are thin at that position. Eagles Now is presented today by Rocket Money. The other week, I was at the crib, and I was looking on the Rocket Money app, and I figured out and saw that I had a subscription with Apple TV that I hadn't used, and actually I had signed up for Apple TV a couple of months ago, over the summer in fact, because I just wanted to get a free trial to watch the final days of Ptolemy Gray with Samuel L. Jackson. Great show, by the way. And Rocket Money alerted me that I was still subscribed to Apple TV. And I saw that they were increasing their monthly subscription cost. So I canceled it with Rocket Money, and that's what they do. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend about $80 per month on them. The actual total cost, sometimes closer to like $200. And what Rocket Money does, they show you all of your subscriptions in one place. Then they cancel for you whatever you don't still want. And Rocket Money even has the ability to find subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for. You may even find out you've been double charged for one. And to cancel it, all you have to do is press cancel. Rocket Money takes care of the rest. So get rid of them today by heading to rocketmoney.com/EaglesNow. That's rocketmoney.com/EaglesNow. By downloading the app, organize, optimize your finances, save money. It could save you hundreds of dollars per year. Anthony Byers has sent in a lot of good questions. Excited to interact with him. Anthony, with this, who you got as the leading rusher and receiver on Saturday? I got Hurts for rushing, Devontae Smith for receiving. I like Devontae Smith for receiving. I don't like Jalen Hurts for running because I don't want to see him run all that much. I don't want to see him get re-injured. Again, the shoulder injury might feel fine. It takes one hit for him to re-aggravate that. It's been a month. month of change since he came off that shoulder injury. So let's go Miles Sanders. I also want to see the Eagles run the football with Miles Sanders. Byron Nails, prediction of the score. I say Eagles 28-24. I'm going to go with something in that range. During our preview, I think I had said like 30-24. I think that's going to be my score prediction. I still think the Eagles can put a lot of points up on the board. I think their defense does have some questions. Giants are confident offensively right now. Daniel Jones is coming off the best game of his career, given the spot, how he performed, and the throws that he was making. So give me 30-24 Birds. They're going to extend that lead a little bit late. How about you? What do you think? Predict the score right now in the comment section. Bird Gang, share your thoughts down below. Interested to see where y'all stand with your confidence meter. Mr. Awesome Guy, 222. What does the C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Jalen Hurts contracts look like next year? Now, Gardner-Johnson is going to be a free agent. So with C.D. Deuce, you're probably going to have to sign him before Jalen Hurts because Hurts still has 1 year left. And what if Hurts plays awful in the divisional round? Are they going to have hesitations about giving him a contract extension down the road? They might, if they don't have a lot of confidence that he can be an elite quarterback when it comes playoff time in a big spot. As for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he could get paid. He finished the regular season despite having not played since that Green Bay game, tied for the most interceptions in the NFL with 6. He has said that he thinks he's one of the best DBs in the sport. We know that he has a lot of confidence. He's also said loves being in Philadelphia. I'd love to bring him back. I think the swagger and confidence is really important for this defense. So, I don't know. Could be 13, 14, maybe even $15 million for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Also has versatility. He could play safety. He could play slot nickel corner. John Alpine, how about Lovie Smith coming to Philadelphia? Yeah, a lot of people have talked about Lovie Smith over the last few weeks. If Jonathan Gannon were to leave for a head coaching opportunity, Lovie Smith as a defensive coordinator, maybe. As a head coach, he's done. He's cooked. He'll never get another opportunity again. He wasn't good with Houston in his lone season there. He was bad tail end of that Bucs tenure, bad at the tail end of that Bears tenure, and he was also just terrible with the University of Illinois. Like, he wasn't even recruiting players within the state. Like, that makes no sense. And you'd think, okay, NFL experience, he can kind of take over Illinois and have a lot of success. Didn't really happen. I do like how Houston played defensively, so maybe if he just specializes on that side of the ball, Lovie Smith could be a decent defensive coordinator. Anthony Byers with another one. Do you think that this Eagles team is better than the Super Bowl winning team in 2017? They're better at wide receiver with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Zach Ertz probably slightly better than Dallas Goedert. Offensive line about the same, if not better this year. Defensive line is better. They had 70 sacks. Cornerback, they're better. I mean, Jalen Mills was like their number one corner that year. And like Patrick Robinson was really good. At safety, Malcolm Jenkins was just built different. Linebacking core this year, better in 2022 than it was in 2017. You got the edge at quarterback. Head coach, I'd go Doug Peterson over Nick Sirianni. Slight edge to the Eagles in 2022, but they have to get the job done. And in similar fashion, 2017, some questions at the quarterback spot, some questions as they backed into the playoffs a little bit, not playing their best football. Kind of the same momentum this year. If you love the Birds, E-A-G-L-E-S type GB for Go Birds. I see Cool Rains in the chat too. Any update on Avonte Maddox? Probably not going to play on Saturday night. If you want the Eagles to make the Super Bowl and you enjoyed our mailbag, please make sure you subscribe. Interactive, entertaining, informative content. We teach you about the Birds. We teach you about the game of football, and we involve you. This is an Eagles channel for people worldwide. So lock us in, and we appreciate the support. All right. John Alpine, what would you rank the Eagles' second-string offensive line if they all started? They still wouldn't be all that good. I mean, shoot, a lot of teams in the NFL would hope that they would have like an Andre Dillard at left tackle. Jack Driscoll at right tackle, though, I don't know about that. Sua Opeta, he's okay. Cam Jurgens, I like him as a Jason Kelce replacement. They probably have a better second-string offensive line than some teams in the NFL. All right, that does it for our 3 segments. We're down to hang out if you want us to hang out. So here's our Super Chat menu. Once I get done reading it, we're putting on the 2-minute shot clock. $5 Super Chat will beat the New York helmet. $10 will continue to slice up the Big Apple. $20 Merrill Reese impersonation. $50 shotgun or freedom funnel. $100 will sing No One Likes Us. We don't care. So let me put on the 2-minute shot clock. Put that ish on, even though AB not in the news for the right things over the last 24 hours. 2-minute shot clock. It's on. If you want us to stay live and we get a super chat, we'll continue to stay live. If not, all good. We'll sign off in our next live show, Saturday night, divisional round against New York. Anthony, good question. What do you think about Bijan Robinson at pick 10 letting Sanders go? It's logical. I don't love spending high draft capital on running back. But if Miles Sanders does get $10, $13 million per year, you get the better back in Bijan at 10, who's great catching the football, running the football, probably a better pass catcher than Miles Sanders, and he's cheaper. So I think it's something that Howie Roseman is thinking about. All comes down to the market for Miles Sanders. Approaching 1 minute left on our Super Chat shot clock, our Super Chat menu. $5 will beat the New York helmet. $10, slice up the Big Apple. $20, Merrill Reese impersonation. $50, shotgun freedom funnel. $100, No One Likes Us, We Don't Care. Fernando said donate. He's not even an Eagles fan. Yeah, John, I agree. No chance Eagles draft running back at 10, even though they should. I highly doubt it. More important positions out there. There just are. 30 seconds left on our Super Chat shot clock. Number 10 should be Keely Ringo, 32, Jahmyr Gibbs, or Bijan. I like Keely Ringo. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. That's a running back that would make sense at the end of the first round because this is an Eagles team that doesn't have too many needs. Byron, reset the shot clock. Let's go, Byron. Byron Nails will reset it to 2. One more time. Beat the hat and beat the Giants. F New York. F New York. F New York. F New York. Preach it. Preach it. Reset the shot clock. We're at 20 now. Anthony, who would you rather play, Dallas or the Niners? Probably Dallas. The storylines are better. I want to see them clench up and tighten up in a big spot. I think the Niners are better too. I think the Niners are built too to maybe beat Philadelphia. Jakey said hello. Hello, Jakey. Uzziah, F New York. Facts. Cool Rains, Dallas is the worst team than the Niners. I agree. Niners are better. It's going to be a good game, though. That game on Sunday. Less than a minute left on our Super Chat shot clock. We'll sign off if no more donations come in. If they do, we'll keep it popping. There's our Super Chat menu. Any more questions? Let me know. 30 seconds left. Super Chat menu, $5. Beat the Giants helmet. 10, we slice up the Big Apple. It's New York Hate Week, folks. $20, Merrill Reese impersonation. 50, shotgun freedom funnel. $100, No One Likes Us. What's the Giants injury report? Azeez Ojulari is on it. It's pretty thin. Both teams coming into this game pretty healthy. Iron Mizzle. Trace, what's good, brother?
What's
Have a
good?
blessed day.
What's good? Hope you're having a good day, Iron. Hope you're having a good day.
All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All
right, all good. We'll sign off. 3 segments in the can. Keep it locked for coverage every day in the lead up to this Giants game. And then we will be live for our watch party on Saturday night, going live an hour before kickoff. Fly, Eagles, fly. Go, Birds. E-A-G-L-E-S. and we out.